Stop for a moment and listen carefully, because this message is not landing in your life by accident. If you have felt the strange pressure of unfinished conversations, delayed answers, and a season that seems to have gone silent right when you needed clarity the most, then hear this now. Heaven has not forgotten you. Archangel Michael is standing as a witness over your journey, and what is about to return from your past is not coming by coincidence. It is coming with purpose, with weight, and with unfinished business that must finally be brought to light. Do not skip this. Do not tune out when your mind tells you it is just another encouraging word. Something has been moving behind the veil, and the next revelation changes everything. Comment Amen if you know God has been speaking even in the silence. There have been moments when you looked at your life and wondered why certain doors did not open when you expected them to, why some relationships dissolved without explanation, why the answer seemed so close and yet remained hidden. But there is something else you need to know. Delay does not always mean denial. Sometimes delay is the evidence that heaven is arranging details you could not have managed on your own. Sometimes the pause is the protection. Sometimes the waiting is the forge. And in your case, there has been a hidden preparation taking place in the spiritual realm, one that is now reaching its appointed hour. The thing that returns from your past will not arrive empty. It will carry a message, a decision, a correction, or an opportunity that was always meant for this stage of your life. Type 1. Believe if you are ready to receive that truth. You may have thought the old chapter was closed forever, but heaven has a way of reopening what was never truly finished. There are conversations that were interrupted, promises that were suspended, and assignments that were put on hold only because the timing was not yet ripe. But now the atmosphere is shifting. The night has been long, yes, and at times it felt like your prayers were traveling through a valley with no visible exit. Yet rivers do not announce themselves in the desert before they break through the ground. They move beneath the surface first. They gather strength in hidden places. Then suddenly one day, what looked dry begins to run with life. That is what is happening around you right now. Keep reading carefully, because the sign of the breakthrough may not look loud at first, but it will be unmistakable when it appears. Comment ready if you are watching for the river. Archangel Michael's presence in this word speaks of protection, but also of confrontation. That means there has been resistance. Some of what you have been carrying was never merely emotional exhaustion. It was spiritual opposition trying to make you doubt the very thing heaven already decided. But not anymore. The sword of truth is cutting through confusion, and the enemy's ability to hide behind delays is weakening. There is a hidden conversation happening concerning you, and it has already begun to change the direction of events. Someone from your past is being moved, not randomly but under divine orchestration. The contact may come in an unexpected way, through a message, a mention, a sudden memory, or a door that reopens with astonishing timing. But do not judge the beginning too quickly. What matters is not merely that someone returns. What matters is what heaven has been preparing to accomplish through that return. Type protected if you believe God has guarded your path. Some of you have carried the wound of being overlooked for so long that even hope feels dangerous. You learn to expect disappointment before relief. You made peace with small outcomes because larger ones seemed too far away. But there is more happening than you realize. Heaven has been recording every tear, every late-night prayer, every moment when you kept going with trembling hands and a tired heart. And in those records there is a line that has been building toward this hour. Your season of hidden preparation is ending. The crown has not been wasted. The endurance has not been wasted. The tears have not been wasted. There is a divine assignment connected to your pain, and that assignment is now pressing toward fulfillment. Before long, what once felt buried will begin to surface, and you will understand why the waiting had to stretch so far. Comment God is working if you know the unseen is moving. The reason this return matters is because it is tied to unfinished business, and unfinished business always carries a charge. It may involve reconciliation, but not the kind that repeats old patterns. It may involve a financial release that was blocked and is now being restored. It may involve healing that finally reaches a place medicine could not touch. It may involve a long-closed opportunity opening again with new authority. Or it may involve all of these together, because heaven is not limited to a single expression of blessing when your season is ready to change. Keep your spirit awake. Do not ignore the small signs, the repeated names, the unexpected reminders, the renewed desire to pray, the strange sense that something is about to break. These are not random details. They are clues from a realm that has already moved ahead of your visible circumstances. Type 333 if you sense the shift. There is a reason the pressure has increased right before the breakthrough. The enemy always tries to intensify noise when heaven is preparing a door. Confusion rises when clarity is about to land. Doubt gets loud when faith is about to mature. And exhaustion presses hardest when the river is only inches away from breaking through the dry ground. But stop and listen. The very resistance you have felt is evidence that something valuable is near. No thief fights over an empty house. No darkness gathers unless there is a light it cannot fully contain. That means your life has carried significance all along, even in the seasons when it looked quiet. There is a hidden blessing approaching, and it may arrive wrapped in a situation you almost dismissed. Do not be too quick to label the return of your past as danger. Heaven can use a familiar face to deliver an unfamiliar miracle. Type faith if you are willing to watch with expectation. Before we continue, I feel led to share something with you. Over the years, thousands of people have reached out asking for powerful prayers they could pray during difficult seasons of life. That's why I put together a collection of some of the most powerful faith-building prayers I know. These prayers have helped people find peace during anxiety, strength during hardship, and hope when they felt like giving up. The best part is that I decided to make it completely free. If you would like a copy, simply check the link in the description and I'll send it to you. Do not wait until another difficult season arrives. Take it now while it's available and keep it close for the days ahead. Now there is something else you need to know. Maybe the person who returns will not speak first the way you imagined. Maybe the first sign will be a softened tone, a changed attitude, or an admission that something was misunderstood. Or maybe the return will not be a relationship at all, but a responsibility, an opportunity, or a door you once stood before and were denied. Yet the story still carries the same heartbeat. Heaven is closing what was incomplete and opening what was withheld. That is why your spirit has been restless. It is not because you missed your chance. It is because your appointed moment is drawing near. There are ancient gates in the spirit that do not open to panic, only to alignment, and you have been aligning in the dark without even realizing it. Every act of obedience, every refusal to quit, every prayer whispered through tears has been building the sound that opens those gates. Comment still standing if you know the night did not defeat you. Do not underestimate what heaven can do with a returning thread from your past. A single restored connection can carry a key. A single apology can release a burden you have carried for years. A single conversation can unlock a pathway that has been blocked since the last season ended. But there is another truth being revealed. This is not only about what comes back, it is about who you have become while it was away. You are not the same person who first encountered that loss. You are stronger, more discerning, and more rooted now. That means the return is meeting a new version of you, one that can receive without collapsing into old pain. There is a preparation in your spirit that no one sees, but heaven does. And because heaven sees, heaven also knows when the time is right. The next revelation may arrive sooner than expected, so keep watching. Type 1 receive if you are ready for holy alignment. Some of you have asked in secret whether the delay meant you had missed your moment. But the answer is no. What you have been calling delay has been divine containment. Heaven has been holding back certain things until your character could carry them without being crushed by them. That includes love, provision, responsibility, and visibility. The blessing was never absent. It was being matured for you. And now the pressure is shifting because the season is shifting. The old walls are cracking, not from failure, but from fulfillment. You may not yet see the full river, but you may already sense the dampness in the ground, the unusual softness in places that were once hard, the faint promise of life returning where everything had seemed barren. Do not rush past this. Before this season ends, there will be proof that the waiting was never wasted. Comment blessed if you believe the ground is changing. There is a hidden obstacle that has tried to speak louder than God's promise. It may have taken the form of discouraging words, a closed account, a medical report, a strained friendship, or even your own inner voice telling you not to hope too much. Yet those voices are losing authority. Michael's presence in this word is a warning to the forces that have tried to delay your blessing. The gate is not yours to guard anymore. Heaven has already sent the order. The decision has been made in places you cannot see. That does not mean every detail will unfold instantly, but it does mean the trajectory has changed. The old pattern is not your future. The familiar disappointment is not your destiny. Something unexpected is approaching, and it will confront the very place where you learned to expect less. Stay with this message, because the breakthrough may arrive through the exact place you once believed was permanently blocked. Type "Yes, Lord" if you surrender the timing. What if the return from your past is not only about restoration, but about recognition? What if someone who overlooked you is about to realize what they missed? What if a door that rejected you before is being prepared to welcome you now? What if the conversation you never thought would happen is already forming behind the scenes? These are not empty possibilities. They are prophetic possibilities, and heaven often works through them in ways that humble the proud and strengthen the faithful. There is a moment coming when you will understand why certain exits happened the way they did. You will see that some departures were actually divine separations. You will see that the wilderness was not punishment, but preparation, and you will see that the pain attached to the past was shaping you for the very thing now returning. Comment "My time is coming" if you feel that truth rising in your spirit. The shift you are approaching is not merely emotional. It is structural. It changes how you move, how you pray, how you decide, how you receive. It affects finances, relationships, and purpose at the same time. That is why the pressure has felt so broad. The enemy was not targeting one area only. He was trying to exhaust your entire capacity to believe. But heaven has been restoring that capacity quietly. One prayer at a time, one moment of courage at a time, one refusal to surrender at a time. And now the threshold is near. There is a door standing in your future that once looked sealed, but the seal is breaking. There is a crown being prepared, not of vanity, but of confirmation. A sign that what was once hidden is now ready to be honored. Keep reading, because the honor will not come before the testing, but it will come. Type 777 if you know God numbers your steps. Someone from your past may reach out saying they finally understand. They may come with a softened heart, a changed perspective, or a request for another chance. But do not focus only on the personal dimension. Look deeper. The return is a signpost. It announces that heaven's timing has crossed the line from waiting into movement. It means what was once unresolved is now entering its final chapter. Some of you will receive restoration in ways you never expected because the blessing is not limited to one form. A broken relationship may open the way for peace. A financial provision may open the way for confidence. A healed body may open the way for service. A reopened opportunity may open the way for your calling to finally be seen. The puzzle pieces are not random. They are converging, and the convergence is closer than your eyes can measure. Do not leave this message early. Type "chosen" if you know this season has your name on it. Many people watching this message have been carrying burdens they never talk about. If that sounds like you, I want to give you something special. I created a free prayer guide filled with powerful prayers for protection, breakthrough, peace, healing, and strength. Thousands of believers have already downloaded it and shared how much it encouraged them during difficult moments. There is absolutely no cost. I simply wanted to place this resource into the hands of people who need it most. If you feel led, go to the description and claim your free copy before continuing. One prayer prayed at the right moment can change more than you realize. Now listen carefully because the next part of this message is important. There are nights when the silence has felt almost heavy enough to touch, when you wondered whether heaven had stepped back. But heaven never stepped back from you. It was the darkness that was talking too loudly. There is a dawn rising now, and dawn always exposes what night tried to hide. In the first light, the contours of the path become visible again. The river path, the gate path, the road of promise that was always there, though obscured by waiting. The next revelation will not only reassure you, it will reposition you. That is why the signs have been subtle. God often begins with subtlety before he opens the flood of confirmation. A phrase overheard, a name reappearing, a closed heart becoming strangely tender, a forgotten invitation returning. These are the first drops before the river breaks through. Keep your heart open, because the appointed hour is drawing near. Comment, "I trust God," if you are choosing peace over panic. This is where the escalation begins, because the atmosphere is no longer only about comfort. It is about arrival. The old season is not merely fading, it is being replaced. Some of what you have been asking for is not coming in the exact form you imagined, but it is coming with greater wisdom and stronger alignment. That is part of heaven's mercy. The return from your past may carry correction, as well as blessing, truth, as well as affection, clarity as well as opportunity. Do not fear that. Correction is not rejection when it comes from God. It is refinement, and refinement protects the promise from becoming a burden. There is a reason the Lord waits until you are ready to carry what you prayed for. It is because the gift is attached to your future, not your fantasy, and your future is more beautiful than the version you settled for in your fatigue. Before long, you will see why the delay had to end this way. Type Amen if you are ready for what heaven has prepared. The unfinished business is not only outside of you, some of it is inside your heart. There have been old wounds that needed healing before the return could land without reopening the same pain. There have been disappointments that needed to be surrendered so you could recognize the blessing when it arrived. There have been words spoken over you that needed to be broken so your spirit could hear the promise clearly again, and that work has been happening. Quietly, deeply, sometimes painfully, but fruitfully. The river has been gathering beneath the surface, and now the pressure is too strong to stay hidden. The day is coming when what seemed impossible will feel almost sudden, as if heaven had been waiting for one final moment to release everything at once. Do not doubt the suddenness. Sudden breakthroughs are often the result of long obedience. Type 1 believe if you know God can do it fast. There is also a hidden blessing attached to the return that you may not see immediately. Someone who comes back may not simply bring a message, they may bring access. Someone who once closed a door, they now become the very person who opens one. Someone from your past may testify to your growth in a way that strengthens your future, or a memory you thought was painful may become the exact evidence that your healing is real. This is how God turns unfinished business into divine completion. What the enemy meant to keep unresolved becomes the place where testimony is born. What was once a source of loss becomes a source of instruction and blessing. Keep watching, because the next few moments of your life may reveal that the thing you thought was lost was only waiting to return under better timing. Comment ready if you are looking for the evidence. And now hear this clearly. Not every return is meant to be embraced in the same way. Some things return so they can be healed. Some return so they can be released. Some return so they can be redefined. And some return because heaven has decided the relationship, the opportunity, or the blessing was never finished in the first place. You will need discernment. That is why Archangel Michael stands in this message with the sword of truth. The sign is not merely that someone comes back. The sign is that you will know what to do when they do. Your peace will become the compass. Your clarity will become the gate. Your obedience will become the key. Comment 333 if you are ready to move with wisdom. As this season matures, the invisible will become visible. The hidden conversation will surface. The delayed response will arrive. The long silence will finally speak. And when it does, you may feel your heart race, because you will recognize that this is the moment you were prepared for all along. It may come in the form of a call, a letter, a message, a sudden visit, an unexpected reconciliation, or a financial opening that answers prayers you had almost stopped mentioning. But do not let the form distract you from the source. Heaven is the source. Heaven is the one who arranged the timing. Heaven is the one who kept you standing when you were sure you were about to fall. Heaven is the one who watched every step in the wilderness and every tear in the night. And heaven is saying now that the threshold is here. Comment, "Yes, Lord," if you are ready to step through. The river is breaking through dry ground. The gates are opening. The dawn is rising. The crown is being set in place. And the unfinished business is moving toward completion with a speed that will surprise those who thought your story had stalled. But your story was never stalled. It was being written in layers you could not yet see. There were scenes of protection, scenes of preparation, scenes of hidden strengthening, and scenes of divine restraint. Now those layers are converging into a visible blessing. This is why your spirit has been restless at strange hours, why you keep sensing that something is about to happen, why you cannot fully settle into the old version of your life anymore. You were not made to remain in the waiting room forever. You were made for movement. You were made for purpose. You were made for the appointed hour. Type 1 receive if you are stepping into it. So stay until the end of this moment in faith, because the closing truth is simple and powerful. What returns from your past will not return empty. It will come carrying the evidence that God was working all along. It will confirm what your tears already knew. It will vindicate what your patience already proved. It will reveal that the delay was never abandonment. And it will show you that the breakthrough you have been waiting for is much closer than it appeared. Do not fear the unfinished business. God has already entered it. And when He enters what was unfinished, He turns it into testimony. Your dawn is here. Your gate is opening. Your river is coming through. And before this season ends, you will know why heaven made you wait. Comment Amen if you receive this word today. Before you leave, remember that my free prayer collection is waiting for you in the description below. Thousands of people have already downloaded it and used these prayers during seasons of anxiety, uncertainty, spiritual battles, and breakthrough. I made it completely free because I want every believer to have access to powerful prayers when they need them most. If this message encouraged you today, make sure you claim your free copy before you go. And if this message spoke to your heart, subscribe to the channel, share it with someone who needs encouragement, and leave your prayer request in the comments so this community can stand with you in faith. May God bless you, strengthen you, and guide every step ahead.